fantasy football, answer your questions for the waiver wire stuff. Even if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, throw your questions in the comments below, and I will jump in and answer them. But we don't really have a plan, so if you have questions, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we will just go over some of the top pickups, over some of the top injuries, I guess. And I think one of the bigger ones, in my opinion, is the Sadie Lam one, because it's just confusing. He is in concussion protocol still, which means obviously he hasn't been practicing. They play Thursday, obviously, Thanksgiving, and it's the Cowboys, so they're going to play Thursday. I would assume CeeDee Lamb misses. I'll bring up I think Amari Cooper might be out as well.
He has to, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, because it's COVID, right?
He's not vaccinated, yeah.
Okay, so Michael Gallup, I would say, is a really good play. I honestly, I think I'd put him in that wide receiver 2 territory, to be completely honest. Tomorrow we'll be going over our rankings. But if he is the wide receiver 1 for the Cowboys, and that would make Cedric Wilson number 2. I love Dalton Schultz this week as a result with those guys out. But yeah, I think I would trust Gallup. And if I'm desperate, I'd go Wilson. But I don't really want anybody else in terms of wide receivers. Do you agree with that?
I love Gallup. I think it was not this past year, but 2 years ago when he really had that breakout season. I think he was like wide receiver 18 even in half PPR. He's a good receiver. Like, he can definitely give you production. He honestly looked arguably better than Cooper did that season when they first got Cooper. So he definitely has the talent. He's been out for a while. This seems like a breakout game for him. But outside of him, I don't even know if I'd touch Cedric Wilson, because I think it's just going to be Gallup, the running backs, and Schultz. I wouldn't be surprised if they put like Pollard out in the slot at some time too.
That's fair. And obviously Ezekiel Elliott, I think he practiced today, but he's not 100% either. So I think that's an interesting call with Pollard, and they could even run 2 running back sets. Not that Mike McCarthy would love to have 2 running backs in the game. I think my biggest takeaway, though, obviously Gallup, but I really like Dalton Schultz. We saw Dalton Schultz dip off a little bit because we saw other wide receivers, Gallup coming back, and the team getting healthy. And I think Dak Prescott has to rely on him now, which is great, because I have a feeling he was dropped in some leagues. Definitely get him if that's the case. DFS, he's going to be a cheap tight end option on Thursday only slates. I love Dalton Schultz this week.
Dalton Schultz is a good player. He was a great tight end last year. Obviously, with Jarwin out, he's got the talent, and like you said, there's nobody else there. So I really don't know who else they'd go to.
No. In another Thanksgiving game, this one gets more complicated. The Saints running back situation. So obviously Alvin Kamara was out last week. He didn't practice yet today. Mark Ingram didn't practice today. I'm more confident Ingram plays than Kamara. But, if they're both out, I guess it's Tony Jones. He's like a flex value if that's the case, I guess. Saints are so frustrating. I don't know how to project them, ever. I just don't know how good or bad they are.
Latavius Murray's contract might have, his decision to leave for Baltimore might have been the worst in a long time. He's now behind Devontae Freeman on the Ravens, and he could have had a very good year if he just took a short deal and probably gotten overpaid in free agency like everybody else does. And instead, he went to Baltimore. I would even argue he's the 3rd best running back there. They just don't give Tyson Williams any reps, but we'll see. This Saints team is, you don't know what you're going to get from him anywhere. Defense, offense, wide receiver, quarterback, doesn't matter. You don't know. I think Adam Troutman, was he their tight end last week who had 20 fantasy points?
Yeah, he's out now, though. He's hurt.
Because why not? Why not?
Yeah. So, like, now tight ends for the Saints, I fully want to stay away from. I think, like, he's been kind of going under a lot of people's radars, Traquan Smith. I think he's fine. I think he's a big part of their offense. I just don't trust the quarterback play. Like, Trevor Siemian's bad. He had a decent week statistically last week because of the way that game went. Taysom Hill should be coming back relatively soon. I think he was active last week but didn't play. I'm surprised that they're not more, I guess, vocal about going with Taysom Hill once he's healthy. Because if they are hesitant to do that, I feel like it's strictly about money. Because we got those details coming out about his contract where it's like, okay, so if he's a quarterback, then he gets paid X amount of dollars. If he's not a quarterback for the majority of the time, he gets X amount of dollars. And I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's like Trevor Siemian sucks. I'm just counting down the days until Drew Brees is back, I guess.
In the chat, hello, Mr. Senra. We appreciate
Kyle?
you being back. How's it going? Gotta go with the formal version, Zach. Come on. Still, I feel like this is a game where the Saints are going to try to use Taysom Hill in everything but a quarterback. Like it would make sense, right? If there's actually one Saints player I would touch, it's actually probably Taysom Hill. Although if he only has a quarterback designation, obviously I don't want to do that. But if you have a league, maybe he can be a running back, wide receiver. I feel like he's a good play. I feel like they're going to use him a lot. They kind of have to with the contract they gave him. And like you said, Traquan Smith, he's good, but just because he's supposed to be good and he's going to get all the reps doesn't equal production.
This is a slightly random side tangent, but I was thinking about the Lions last night. I had a nice glass of whiskey thinking about Dan Campbell, as I like to do at least once a week. And I'm like, this team's got grit. This team's not good, but they got grit. And what are they going to do? Because they can't be Jared Goff, the Jared Goff's Lions next year, even though he's getting paid 20 whatever million. To me, it seems like a lock that Taysom Hill's their quarterback next year. Like, doesn't he one, fits that scheme if they want to be a running team, and two, Dan Campbell coached him as a tight end last year. And I made the joke on the Flurry Sports podcast that the Lions are just going to try to get every single tight end, and he is the most tight end-like quarterback out there.
I actually don't see that. I see.
Okay.
I would love this. First, before I go, I think we should answer Kyle's question because it's actually related. If Latavius Murray is relatively healthy, do you rank him or Devontae Freeman higher? Little sneak peek into my running back streamers article. I think Devontae Freeman, he had 6 more carries than Latavius Murray, and he also had 6 receptions to Murray's 2. Granted, a lot of that can be attributed to Marquise Brown not being there, but I think that still tells me, along with his touchdown, that he's the guy in Baltimore, healthy or not, for Murray.
I would rank Devontae a little bit higher. I think they're close, and to your point, he's definitely the guy who's going to get the receiving work. So I suppose maybe it's slightly game plan specific about who ends up being higher. You're almost... I would say there's absolutely no way Latavius Murray outscores Devontae Freeman if neither of them score a touchdown. So if that's the case, I would go with him. Welcome, Henry. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would side with Freeman, I think, here. Like Trevor said, I agree with him this past week. I thought it was telling. Now it was, Murray's getting back from the injury. But the fact that Freeman had, what did he have, 16 carries, I believe it was, and the snap percentage was not like extremely high, but when he was on the field, he was, get efficient with his snaps as far as getting touches. So that was something that stood out to me when I was looking through different numbers and performances from the week for sure. But I don't know that either one is more than an RB3. Like, I don't trust Freeman. I'll say that. I think he's ahead of Murray. I don't trust him though.
Agreed.
Before I get into who I think the Lions quarterback should be, am I just really unobservant? Has Henry always had a beard?
No.
Okay, good. Because now I'm getting really
Ignorant.
I'm getting really sad because I'm the only one who can't grow facial hair, and this is making me sad. I was gonna say claustrophobic. That's not at all the right word, but beside the point.
Yeah.
They are smushed in the middle too.
Fair enough. Beside the point, I think the best quarterback for the Lions, and if they get him, depending on how this Aaron Rodgers situation plays out, I might actually switch to the Lions because I'd have to. If Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, that would be like perfect. He's a guy who doesn't make mistakes. He's always needed a chance. Dan Campbell's gonna like cry while hugging him and say like, "We did it." It'll be like a weird Rocky spinoff, but in football and in Detroit and worse. But beside the point, I would love to see Tyrod Taylor there. I do think Taysom Hill would work, but I think Dan Campbell's thing would be, how about we have two quarterbacks, but I make it work, because he's a master of the people.
Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured.
I think it was Anthony Lynn who did it too. So I don't know if that's gonna. I think Anthony Lynn put a hit out on Tyrod Taylor, so I'm not sure if that would work.
Tyrod Taylor's got something to prove, though. Like, Buffalo did him so dirty. Like, they got Josh Allen. That's cute. You still haven't gone to a Super Bowl, so guess what? Doesn't matter. Tyrod Taylor needs his chance, man. I've been yelling it from the mountaintops, and he's had his chance for like 2 weeks and then been thrown to the curb like a cheap. Not gonna finish that sentence, but you get the vibe.
I agree. I just think Taysom Hill is more tight end like than Tyrod Taylor, so I think he has to be the quarterback choice of Dan Campbell.
Well, we've seen Tyrod can take hits, needles, literal hits. That's really the only thing I had was the needles, so that kind of fell off after that. But he can take a punch. Taysom Hill got hit hard. He's been out 3 weeks. It's not tight end worthy.
Fair enough. Also, by the way, this is a side point. If Taysom Hill becomes the starting quarterback for the Lions, I guarantee he's on kickoff team. Guaranteed. Dan Campbell's going to love him that much. Like, you can't take him off the field. And Tyrod is getting a chance right now by the Texans, to Kyle's point. It's sort of like, here's nobody around you. Prove to us you're good. And he's kind of doing it.
He is doing it. That's what I'd say.
That's
not really. Who's he
beating?
The Titans and the Browns, who suck. Titans.
No, he didn't beat the Browns. He was on his way to beating the Browns, and then they were like, no, come on off.
They couldn't let that Tyrod Taylor revenge tour narrative get started.
Yeah.
He beat Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer beat the Bills, who are supposed to be a Super Bowl or something. Like, what are we doing?
We're going to start a trend, and by the end of the year, we're going to say why the Lions were Super Bowl champions. We're going to go, the Lions beat somebody who beat somebody. We're going to get this train going. RX7, Johnny Manziel or O.J. Simpson? I don't know.
Is this a Luke Burner account?
It might be. Manziel wasn't spelled right, though, so I don't think Luke could do that. Sure. I'm going O.J. Simpson. I don't know what the question entails, but he was electric.
Legit. I'm going to assume Henry's dog is making an appearance on the podcast.
Yes. Harold, quiet, please.
Looking at other injuries, I guess. Zach Wilson is back by default. Mike White and Joe Flacco both got put on the COVID list. So congratulations, Zach Wilson. That's the only way that you could have gotten the starting job back without any sort of controversy. So I don't want to say that this was fixed, but, for the Bears, Allen Robinson is still not practicing. I think Mooney did practice. Do they play Thursday? They do. So they play the Lions. If that's the case again, Mooney's going to be great because Justin Fields is out. So Andy Dalton's the starter, and he can throw the football. I love Mooney. Again, the rankings show tomorrow. I haven't done my rankings yet. He's going to be a borderline wide receiver 2 to 3, to be completely honest, if Allen Robinson's out, to me. What about you, Trevor?
Yeah, Allen Robinson doesn't make sense, right? Because my first thought when you pointed out was he's not trying, which doesn't make sense because isn't he a free agent after this year? So can't he leave?
I don't think he can be franchise tagged again, so yes.
Because then, he's driving his own stock down. But then you'd think he doesn't want to do that, so he'd call for the ball, and he just doesn't seem like he cares, at all. Whereas Mooney, I mean, from kind of week one, he's kind of been that spark plug, been that guy with both quarterbacks. So I love him even if Robinson is playing. I think Robinson isn't even a top 60 receiver right now, if I'm not mistaken, half PPR.
Yeah.
I love Mooney. He's good. He's electric. He's quick. I mean, there's not a lot to not like about this guy.
And if Allen Robinson plays, he is a hometown Detroit guy, so I can only assume he's a Dan Campbell guy. If he plays, he's going to sabotage the Bears, get Nagy fired, get Dan Campbell his first win, and his first game where the opposing head coach gets fired. Because he goes on quite the run here. He goes, the Bears, Nagy's going to get canned. He's going to beat the Vikings and Mike Zimmer, and Mike Zimmer's going to get canned. It's going to be an embarrassment, so much so that they're going to have to not even let him back in the locker room. And then he plays the Broncos, and Fangio's going to get canned. Dan Campbell's going to be taking out head coaches left and right, and it's going to be a stretch we have never seen. Historic Detroit Lions football. I'm going to be
in week 17, he's going to beat the Packers, and LaFleur is going to get fired as well.
You know what? If that's the case, we better hire Dan Campbell because he's the man for the job. I will be ecstatic. Henry, sorry to not let you answer, but I would assume you like Mooney quite a bit if Allen Robinson's out.
I mean, I don't know how you can't like Mooney if Robinson's out. Who else do the Bears have? Marquise Goodwin? He takes blown coverages for him to do anything. So David Montgomery has not really done a whole heck of a lot since coming back from his injury. I'm really, last year Montgomery was a league winner for a lot of people, I think, down the stretch of the season, whether they traded for him or held on to him. He had great matchups. Some of us were pointing that out. I remember on shows last year, and he delivered in those games. The Bears don't really have that this year, so I'm not really in on him. And it just comes down to what are they going to do? And I think if Robinson's out, and to Trevor's point, if Robinson's in, he acts like he doesn't care whatsoever this season. And part of me can't blame him, but I think when you're hearing reports that Nagy has lost the locker room and the majority of Bears want him fired now, I feel like Allen Robinson's leading that charge in a way. So, yeah, I think Mooney's going to continue to play hard, and I don't see a reason not to like him. I think it kind of, going back to the Ravens running back situation, do I necessarily trust him? I'm not sure if I trust him for more than wide receiver 3. I think wide receiver 2, like you were saying, that's pushing it for me just because there is some touchdown dependency there with him. But I think there is a relative floor, at least at this point, which is more than you can say for any other Bear.
You said Nagy lost the locker room, and I agree. I think every Bear wants him gone except for one, and that's Andy Dalton. And I think Andy Dalton is going to come. He's going to ball. It's against the Lions, and he's going to pass for a lot of yards on Thanksgiving. And it has to go to somebody. I think Mooney is a great play. I think Colt Mccoy is a sneaky good play this week. I think Dalton has 300-yard upside this week, and it has to go to somebody. Somebody has to catch the fucking football. So, I don't know. I like it.
It's going to be really funny when the Bears get to the end of the season, have nothing to play for. Like Henry said, they don't have good matchups. And they just throw in Khalil Herbert to tank for a good pick, and then draft another running back in the early second round. Because that's all they do.
By the way, the running back will be great, though, because that's the one thing that they nail.
And they'll let Montgomery go. He'll, be wandering in the desert for 2 years, come back and ball out on Philly.
To touch on Montgomery quickly, I think he's a really good talent, but it's pretty clear why he was good last year, and that's because he was the only guy, so he's catching passes. He's 1 of 3 right now, and he's going to be 1 of 4 when Tariq Cohen, who is still alive and on the team, and he's about to come back pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, there's no point in trusting David Montgomery. If you can sell him to somebody who thinks he's going to have another end of the season stretch like last year, go ahead.
When do you guys want him in the dynasty leagues?
I'm not allowed to make trades, I don't think, anymore. I think I'm unfair because I don't know, because I use logic.
Yeah, commissioner's rigging the league.
Yeah,
top 3 quarterbacks on his side. Ridiculous.
I fucking started Jamison Crowder this week. I'm sorry, my team's too good.
How dare you, Zach?
Yeah, he was good enough to trade to me, though, wasn't he? Yeah, I saw that trade, Zach. Don't try to pawn your crap off on me. Then
Joe
say
Flacco
the next
loved
show
him.
He sucks.
Joe Flacco loved him, but now Joe Flacco's gone. So now, Anyway, let's move on. Another injury. So Pat Freiermuth has looked good as a rookie, and Eric Ebron now is going to miss extended time, which is, recycled, rinse, repeat. That headline comes out every single year. And Pat Freiermuth now has no competition for snaps really at the tight end position again. He works the underneath routes like Juju Smith-Schuster. He is the red zone threat when they don't give it to Najee Harris. In the same way that we talked about how I think Dan Arnold is a tight end 1 the rest of the season, I think Pat Freiermuth's the tight end 1 the rest of the season. Dan Arnold's game last week is a complete fluke. I'm not sure how he doesn't get targeted once after getting targeted a ton every game. But Dan Arnold's whole thing is he doesn't have touchdown upside. He just gets a bunch of yards. Pat Freiermuth's going to get touchdowns. So I love him this week. I love him going forward. Flacco can hit him. Like, that's one of the passes he can make. So, I don't know. Henry, I'm pretty sure you like Pat Freiermuth. Do you agree with me that he is borderline or is a top 10 guy?
Who do the Steelers play this week? Sorry,
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
But, I mean, yeah, he's in the tight end 1 conversation going forward. Like, it doesn't really matter, honestly, if Eric Ebron's healthy or not. Like, Freiermuth had already been the more productive tight end here going back a few weeks. Had the one nice game 2 weeks ago. Finally got the double-digit fantasy point performance. Like you say, he has a presence in the red zone. Really, I think we talked about it on air a couple of weeks ago. He's kind of taken over the Juju Smith-Schuster role over the middle. Like, that's just kind of where the targets are going. I like him. I like all the Steelers pass catchers. I still like Deontay Johnson. See maybe what you can do with him as far as trading him away, I would say, after this week's nice game. But Chase Claypool, he made the buy low, sell high column this week. And he's a guy I would look to buy low on right now. Wide receiver 44 on the season. I think he's better than that. He has more upside than that. You're in a pass-heavy offense here. And Freiermuth's going to fit into that game plan as well. So I like all 3 of them.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't listening to a single thing Henry said because I'm confused. Zach, did you say Joe Flacco could hit Freiermuth?
No. Roethlisberger. And if I did...
I could have sworn you said Flacco. I'm like, I don't know how that works. I was trying to do mental gymnastics on that one for the past 5 minutes.
Zach sees Joe Flacco in his sleep. So if he did, that's why.
I was so confused. Like, when did this dude get traded? What did I miss here? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I like Freiermuth. Dude's a stud. Steelers don't really have anybody else, and they don't have. Well, they do have other people, but they don't have any variety, for lack of a better term. They just throw the same shit out there every time and expect different results. So you know what they're going to get with him. They're not going to randomly throw out a game plan in which he doesn't exist.
And I'm less high on Chase Claypool than you, Henry. I just think this offense is built to get the ball out quickly, and Chase Claypool is built to run verticals. And those two kind of don't mix. It's to the point where I think Ray McLeod might have more catches the rest of the season than Chase Claypool. And that's not like an exciting thought. I just don't like him. I don't know. I think he's fine. I think he'll have a couple big plays, but do I trust it to happen? Not really. Jaden Mercado, who wins between the trade of Saquon Barkley and Devontae Smith for Mike Evans. I think it somewhat depends on what you need. Like if you are stacked at running back and you need an upgrade at wide receiver, I think that's fine. Otherwise, in a vacuum, I think the Saquon Barkley and Devontae Smith side has more total value. Trevor, what do you think?
I would agree, but not because of anything that Saquon Barkley has ever done this season. He's had only 3 out of his 5 games he's been healthy. He scored double digits. One of those is because he had 2 touchdowns. He's been anything but good. With that being said, though, he has matchups against Philly, at Miami, at the Chargers, at Philly, Washington to end the year. That's really good. So I like that. He'll be good enough for at least flex. And Devontae Smith has been pretty good this year. When AB comes back, I don't think he'll take everything away, but I think he'll make Tampa Bay back to a what the hell is going on wide receiving core.
What about you, Henry?
Yeah, it's the Saquon side for me. It's not really close. I know it's been a disappointing year for Barkley so far, but Trevor just mentioned the matchups. We saw Devontae Booker. He was able to produce filling in for him. We know kind of what the Giants' offense is. Barkley, I would argue, is more talented than Booker when healthy. Now, is he fully healthy? Maybe not. But I think last night going up against the Buccaneers, it wasn't spectacular by any means, but the fact that you're still able to get out of there with a double-digit PPR point performance out of Barkley, that kind of speaks to the floor I think you're seeing here out of the Giants' lead running back position, because that's a tough matchup. And I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that Antonio Gibson scored 2 rushing touchdowns against that defense and nobody else scores any. Like, that's got to be the most weird thing. And the season Gibson's had, like, give me a break.
Yeah, trust me, I was getting mentioned about it because I was so terribly wrong about my Antonio Gibson take because he scored 2 touchdowns
in one game.
Yeah, he might not have 2 the rest of the season. Henry, like with Saquon, I think you were also telling me you believe in the Freddie Kitchens effect too, right? You're a big Freddie Kitchens guy, so he's probably RB1 the rest of the way.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you know he's going to get the ball. 3rd and 20, doesn't matter. He's going to get the ball, draw up the middle, take it.
I will say, side tangent, I'm really bad at drafting running backs in the second round. Last year I took Eckler and Drake. We know how that worked out. This year, after taking Eckler in the 4th overall pick, I decided to take Antonio Gibson over Najee Harris, which did not work. I don't know if I need to tell you guys that. I did not buy that offensive line, and then I didn't realize that Gibson sucked at football, so that was fun.
Washington's offensive line is probably even worse than Pittsburgh's is, to be completely fair. Like, I don't think Antonio Gibson's bad at football. I just don't think he's an every down back like Washington wants him to be. So, like, that's kind of been the thing that I take a little bit offense to with people calling me out on Twitter about saying Antonio Gibson 3 weeks ago was droppable if you needed a roster spot, which wasn't a bold take, and I still stand by it. Just look how he did this week. But he's just not a 3-down guy. I don't know what they're trying to do. It doesn't make any sense.
Especially with the 6th round fantasy football draft talent and McKissick on the bench.
Shout out to everyone who understands that joke. Okay. Henry, you can talk about this one since you are the only person I know who watches Jets football. Michael Carter is out for, I think, like 2 to 3 weeks or so. So Ty Johnson obviously gets elevated. Elevated in terms of production. He's already been on the roster. You've been talking him up anyways. Where would you put him in terms of value? Like, is Ty Johnson RB2 for you going forward? Or is he still in that flex range?
I'm going to kind of backtrack, I guess, on my hype from a few weeks ago with Ty Johnson. I'm going to say he's not getting into RB2 range, even with Michael Carter going down. He's still in flex territory because Tevin Coleman is back from injury. I think there's still going to be an even split. I think Ty Johnson is the lead guy here. Powerful runner for a guy of like his height, physical. Between the tackles guy, he can also get out and catch passes. But Tevin Coleman's going to have a role here when he's healthy. Obviously, came over from San Francisco with Robert Saleh. So I'm not thrilled about Ty Johnson. I think in deeper leagues, Tevin Coleman, like if you're in a 16-teamer or 14-teamer or whatever, you can do worse than picking up Tevin Coleman even in waivers this week. I think both guys are ones to target depending on your league situation and whatnot.
I love it.
And
I love it.
That offensive line also, by the way, is just awful. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit right here and say it. We're going to lose to the Texans this week. I don't know if we're going to win another game.
The Texans are favored.
The Jets have absolutely mailed it in. Joe Flacco has been kicked out of the lineup because he's too good now. Which, by the way, everyone who pissed on Saleh for making the decision to go with a veteran quarterback this past week, to me, they look stupid because Flacco came in and he did exactly what the Jets needed him to do. He gave them stable quarterback play against the Dolphins. They were Elijah Moore with a stable veteran quarterback. Look what he can do. You've got something there in your rookie receiver. You still didn't score enough. The defense can't stop even anyone, even the Dolphins right now. So, I mean, I don't know what we're doing here, but it's sad.
So 2 things. One, I love how you hyped up Ty Johnson till everybody got on board, and then you pulled the rug out and said, no.
Straight.
You don't know. And then 2,
He sucks.
I'm really glad you said Joe Flacco against the Miami Dolphins because I totally forgot the Jets played football on Sunday. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, it was an entertaining game. Like Elijah Moore went off, and it was fun to see Tua do stuff too. But I didn't watch the whole thing. I was bouncing around. Their Packers were definitely more entertaining.
Fake
also,
fan.
I'm not saying Ty Johnson is bad as football. I'm just saying don't expect him to be an RB2 with Michael Carter going down because Tevin Coleman is back. That's all I'm saying. I like Ty Johnson, the player.
This is Henry waving the white flag on Ty Johnson.
The 4 words going through Lovie Smith's mind, keeping him up at night, is Tevin Coleman is back. He is shaking in his boots. He is pulling out his beard hair because it's his nervous tick because Tevin Coleman will be taking the field with one Zach Wilson this week, and he doesn't know what to do.
He's about to shun himself back to Illinois college football again.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a disaster. What other injuries are there? I don't even know. Logan Thomas should be back. Who knows? Kareem Hunt should be back this week. That's good news for.
Kareem Hunt's back. I'm back. Hello.
He should be.
They have a son of a bitch. Damn. I traded Eckler before this week because I thought my playoff hopes were dashed because I thought Hunt was going to come back till after the bye. So at first I was happy, but then now I'm just really sad. So for your daily dose of sadness, I was really wondering where that camera was going, Henry. So I'm glad there's a dog there.
He was telling you to suck his dick because Tevin Coleman's back, baby.
Kevin Coleman is back. Yeah, Kevin Coleman.
Be afraid.
Sure. Yeah, be afraid of Joe Flacco. I'm gonna forget who they played like 10 minutes after kickoff.
Is there anybody else to talk about? I don't even know.
Rodgers' COVID toe?
Jesus Christ. That's such... I just wanted to... There's people I like spreading that stupid-ass rumor. Like, you are fucking idiots. Oh, my God. Like,
Go on.
If Rodgers is getting listed for a toe injury on the injury report for COVID toe, then anybody who has a rash on their arm should also be listed for an arm injury. Like that is the stupidest thing of all time. Rodgers would never list that. And then they said it was more serious than a turf toe. And then people were like, aha, COVID toe. Look how swollen these toes are. Like that is the stupidest fucking thing. And then now today it's like, oh, there's a bone injury. And they're like, oh, because it wasn't COVID toe. Yeah, no
This
shit.
piggy went to the market. This piggy caught COVID in just the toe. Nothing else. Just the toe.
Nothing else.
I love it. I love it too that it's one toe, right? Like it's not the foot. It's not like one leg. It's just one piggy toe, which just makes it infinitely more funny to me. But at the same time, hey, shareholders. So that's all you need to say.
I was going to say, every person saying it could be COVID toe on Twitter also had in their bio or in their name NFL owner. So that was fun. I hate it.
I'm about
I hate
to
the
drop
Packers.
like 20 followers. Actually, I would if I had that many. We'll see.
Oh no, he's going negative.
I'm about to go under triple digits again. We're gonna have to play the horn again.
Looking at other players on the waiver wire article for Flurry Sports, Cam Newton headlined it. I think Cam Newton's fine going forward for fantasy. Like, he looked like the same quarterback we know and love who can't throw passes. Like, the Christian McCaffrey one was pretty because Christian McCaffrey made a nice catch. He still can't throw, but he is also a dual threat. A dual threat at the quarterback position. So I think he's going to be good going forward. My question to you, Trevor, though, we have two quarterbacks here, Cam Newton, Taylor Heineke. Washington this week plays Seattle. They play Seattle on Monday Night Football, and then Cam Newton will play at Miami. Which one would you rather pick up?
Cam Newton. Although Heineke does have a really cool song.
True.
Monday Night Football games have been trash this year. Pittsburgh was good, right? It's just been hot garbage, and I want no part of it. Seattle sucks. Russell Wilson is horrible. He is screwing a lot of people over in a lot of leagues, and I am not here for it as an owner of him or roster of him, whatever. Beside the point, this just spells ugly game, right? Is it at Seattle too, or is it at Washington?
Washington.
Okay. Well, I mean, at Seattle would have made it even worse, but I just see this being a game where Russell Wilson gets like 200 passing yards, somewhat scrambles for an open touchdown, and people are like, is he back? When he does nothing all game. And so for Heineke, no. I like him, but no.
Henry?
I would go with Cam Newton there. Personally, it's pretty much the same thing we saw in a way out of even the Patriots version of Cam Newton last year, right? Like, they're not doing anything fancy, but down in the red zone, he's a threat to run for 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. Can get it done with his legs, can still get it done to some degree with his arm. There are weapons in Carolina. I think people sort of forgot about that just because the quarterback play was so atrocious there for the first 9 weeks of the season, but we won't get into that. Cam Newton should be starting for this team the rest of the way. If not, Matt Rule's an idiot. Another name I would throw at you guys, he's rostered in 62% of leagues on Sleeper already, it looks like, but Romandre Stevenson, I think, is a running back that needs to be owned. Damian Harris is the lead guy when he's healthy, but we're looking at, I think, more of a split now than we were even a few weeks ago because Stevenson did so well when Harris missed that game with a concussion. So relatively touchdown dependent, both of them, to get you, more than, I would say 10 to 12 fantasy points is your ceiling with both of them without a touchdown. But, the Patriots like to run the football. That's not changing. I think Stevenson's a guy to pick up if he is somehow available in your league, and he's a flex consideration for me week to week at this point.
Zach, I'd like to put in a complaint against Henry because he clearly is reading my articles before I posted them. He basically said everything that I just put in my running back stream article on Stevenson, so that's already 2 out of the 3. There's only one left. None of you are going to get him because he sucks, but I like him. But yeah, Romandre Stevenson is good. He looked good. Like, Damon Harris looked good. Anybody would against his defense, but Stevenson still looked better. I think Damien Harris is going to get those goal line carries. There's still Hunter Henry, but I mean, it would be stupid to pull the plug on him, and Bill Belichick is not stupid.
Is it Ronald Jones?
Okay.
Jeff Wilson.
There's a limit. No.
You said he
It's
stinks.
Javonte
I'm trying.
Javonte
Williams is good. How dare you? No.
That's not really a streamer.
Tevin Coleman, he's
no.
back.
Hell no.
He's
I would have said, damn you, Henry, if it was him. Stop trying to guess. This people need to read the article, not just say, hey, I tuned in for 30 minutes.
Rex Burkhead, baby. Philip Lindsay out of town.
Definitely
Rex Burkhead
not.
is back. Are you kidding me? The
Not
kid's
Rex
running.
Burkhead.
He's got momentum. He's going forward. Tyrod Taylor's finding the guy. I don't know what his stats were last week, but he's back,
when you see who it is, you're gonna laugh out loud. You'll just find it very funny.
18 carries for Rex Burkhead last week. What the fuck? He might be back.
They were sending him up the middle.
He only got 40 yards.
Patriots ran him like that. He was between the tackles, man. I was like, what?
They saw what they needed to cut Philip Lindsay today. Like we got him. We got our guy. What's going on in Houston? That's so
shit. I gotta rewrite it. I didn't know Burkhead at 18. I said David Johnson. Son of a bitch.
I didn't know that either.
I was gonna say David Johnson's gonna get all his carries, but clearly fucking not. God damn it. Well,
18 carries, 40 yards. Rex Burkhead, 18 carries, 40 yards, no reception.
Consistent.
I'm gonna pick
That's
the biggest
right
bitch
with
that
his,
nobody knows about at running
skill
back and throw him in just as a middle finger to you guys for ruining my entire article. Although I will say it's better you ruining it now than me putting it out. People be like, "Hey, jackass, David Johnson, what are you doing running back one over Rex Burkhead?"
So I mean, that kind of ruined my tight end streamers too, because I feel like it's Dan Arnold every week, and then
okay, but Dan Arnold is a
Freiermuth
glorious
and
person.
Kmet, so
at the same time, those are the only tight ends people are touching.
No one's touching Dan Arnold. He remains owned in less than 50% of leagues. So as long as that's the case, I feel like I have to keep putting him in there. You know,
that's because people are stupid.
What do you think of? This is, I guess, would be a
really quick. Hold on to that thought. I just want to add this about the two running backs, just because I had their snaps up. David Johnson had 35 snaps to Rex Burkhead's 27 last week. Rex Burkhead played 6 passing snaps to David Johnson's 17. 18 carries for Rex Burkhead, 14 carries for David Johnson. So I think they're both going to just split it pretty much evenly.
He's going back in the article, and I'll just talk about his receiving.
Yeah. I mean, they're favored, though. If they're winning, it might be Rex Burkhead time.
Don't ruin this for me. Have you seen the running backs that are rostered in less than 60% of leagues? It is bad. It is very, very bad.
Coleman.
It is a
Tevin
bunch
Coleman's
of shit.
back.
I am not writing about goddamn Tevin Coleman.
You probably should. What was his stat?
I am not writing about goddamn Tevin Coleman.
Trevor, if you're not going to write about him, I'll write about him. There will
Do
be
it
a
then. That's fine.
Tevin Coleman fantasy outlook
write an article about
blank.
Tevin Coleman. You will get
all about him.
2 views from Tevin's mother and his uncle. Maybe, if you're lucky.
It'll be up tomorrow.
Can't wait. Sounds exciting.
It's going to be the most hyped article
you know
of all
you
time.
will.
No, I'm going to look at it and go, son of a bitch. And I'm just going to like it anyways because I feel obligated to.
I appreciate it.
I'm just trying to think of other running back. Oh, I don't know what his ownership is, but I guess Hilliard should be a guy.
That's where I was just going. What are we doing with this Titans backfield? Because everyone went out and pounced on Adrian Peterson when he signed. And this past week, Adrian Peterson, now I know the Titans were trailing, so you can take that for what it's worth, but it was raining. Adrian Peterson, 19% of the snaps. Deontay Foreman, who I actually think has been running well when he's on the field, only 19% of the snaps, though. And Hilliard, 63%. Hilliard is rostered in 0% of sleeper fantasy leagues. Do we like Hilliard? And also in deeper leagues, I think Foreman's a guy worth a spot if you have it, just because I don't know. I like what I saw out of him live watching that game. He had a couple of nice runs to pick up. I think he had like 7.3 fantasy points or something like that on 19% of snaps played. I would lean toward Hilliard and Foreman both being rostered over AP at this point. But
well, AP got cut.
Ask you guys. Did he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was wondering where you're going with that because I was like, AP got cut. Why are we even talking about him?
Never mind.
Peterson was the best runner in that game, by the way. He looked the best running the ball. He had the best stats. He ran for 40 yards. Hilliard ran for 35 on 2 less carries. But he got cut. I would think Peterson gets signed by somebody else because I think he's been good. I think he's the best runner there. But whatever. I think fuck, I'll take him.
I was thinking the Detroit Lions. But...
No.
Oh my God.
Remember Thanksgiving last year when Adrian Peterson dropped 3 touchdowns or something, and
I
didn't bring him on just in time. Win number 1.
Little bastard.
I'm gonna be fat and happy on the couch, just watching Dan Campbell win.
Maybe I'm not. Never mind.
I think because Hilliard had 7 carries, 35 yards. He caught 8 passes. He had 10 targets in the game. I don't know what the deal with McNichols is. If McNichols was he hurt? Did he not play?
I never saw him in that game.
I thought he had something up with him. Injury-wise.
He must have been inactive. He didn't play a single snap. If the Titans are winning, I think Foreman's going to be the lead back in getting those carries. And if they're trailing or if it's competitive, I think Hilliard's going to be the change of pace. I think he's going to be the receiving guy until McNichols comes back. Like if McNichols is healthy, what is it?
He had a concussion, so he should probably be back.
I don't know why Hilliard would usurp McNichols, I guess. Because he's been the guy all season for that role.
I forgot about McNichols.
Although I will say McNichols did suffer. Tennessee played on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Because McNichols suffered it during the game last week, so I'm surprised against the Saints. So I'm surprised he wasn't back for that game. Could it be like a 2-week one?
Do you think anybody has a fantasy team name called McNichols back? No.
Not gonna lie, it went over my head, but I'll act like I knew what you meant.
Okay, it's greatest band.
I got it, Zach.
Obviously. Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you.
Greatest band.
I've never heard of Nickelback before.
Oh, God, why? No, bad.
That's the reaction I want. Thank you.
We gotta cut this shit, man.
So would you lean towards if McNichols plays? I guess Zach, going on your theory, I would lean towards him or Hilliard if he doesn't play this week over Foreman, because I think the Patriots are going to destroy Tennessee. So they're going to need to be throwing it late. A.J. Brown is what's going on there. I mean, I know the records suggest that the Titans are the better team. The Titans are not the better team. So
correct. A.J. Brown's also banged up. He had like an upper body injury, but he finished the game, so I don't think he's at risk of missing. I'm way lower on A.J. Brown than most people. I don't know. I don't think he's that great. I think he's good. I don't think he's a number 1. I think he could be a great number 2. I just don't think he can beat top coverage very well.
Also,
and J.C. Jackson's going to cover him. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. If I'm the Patriots, if I'm the Patriots, I take... Actually, maybe not. I don't know. After seeing what Tannehill did last week, if I'm the Patriots, maybe I stop the run and just force Tannehill to beat you.
Yeah. Sorry, Henry.
In the same way, that's what I think they would do. So I think he's a Jets fan too, though. So
he has a Derrick Henry jersey on his profile picture. How are you not a Tennessee fan?
But Tevin Coleman's back, so everything kind of
Tevin Coleman.
Guys, I don't even know if I'm a fan of anyone
at
this point. I just pick teams and players and cheer for them because the Jets are sad. Derrick Henry's on IR.
Yeah, pick the Lions. Ford Fiesta Fridays. Same 3.
I mean, I cheer for Dan Campbell. I'm actually cheering for the Patriots this year because I
am too.
May or may not have bet on them to win the AFC before the season started, and they're proving me right. So
they're like the
I'm actually
of the NFL.
A Pats fan this year, and it's kind of funny. But
I was thinking about this. They really are. I like them now. I shouldn't, but
I love them.
And it makes no sense because I
love
hate
that
Bill
Brady
Belichick.
is out. Bill Belichick can be Bill Belichick, and it's so weird to sit here as a Jets fan and I hated him all those years, and I still don't like Tom Brady. Like I root against the Buccaneers pretty much actively. Not that it really bothers me anymore, I guess. But yeah, no, the Patriots like this year's Patriots team is everything I guess I would look for in a football team, right? Like back when the Jets were good and the heyday, what was it, 8, 9, 10 years ago there when we went
60s?
to two.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
a lot longer
forget that.
than
The
that.
back-to-back AFC championships with Rex Ryan, it was about defense. I don't know. I'm a defensive guy. The Patriots defense is nasty.
Good.
The scheming is incredible. If you actually dive into what Belichick does, he makes, everyone's like, rah, Justin Herbert, 2 picks, no problem. I don't know. I guess for me, it's just a pleasure to break it down and watch their games and watch their film. And I don't know. I really like it. But
They're like what Wisconsin would be if they had a good quarterback.
Excuse you.
yeah,
You don't think Graham Mertz is a good quarterback?
Okay, I should say great quarterback because he has been better. He has been better recently. I'll give you credit for that. You got me on the Graham Mertz isn't complete garbage train.
He's so good. He's
I'm at the good portion. I'm at the good portion. Okay, but he's gonna have to do a little more to get me to that great upper echelon level.
Let's get an offensive line that can pass protect, and let's get him one wide receiver, just one.
Danny Davis is good.
I will die on this hill. Danny Davis is okay.
Danny Davis is good. Danny Davis is good, man. I don't want to hear it. I am not taking Danny Davis slander. How dare you?
He's okay. Like he's fine.
I tried looking him up, and I saw a United States representative, so that tells you a lot about that. That's kind of.
He is a United States representative. There's no doubt about it.
How tall is this guy?
In my mind,
Danny Davis is 6 feet tall. What do you mean 5'5"?
There's no way. He gets shorter every week. There's no chance he's 6 feet tall.
Come on, man. He's good.
Sure.
I would throw out. I mean, I know the Cardinals are on a bye this week, but since this is ad drops, if you're in a position where you can pick someone else up, and not have him play this week, or going into the bye if he gets dropped, potentially by someone, and you're able to make that move for this week and have him going forward. AJ Green, 58% rostered on Sleeper right now. I still like him. I know 2 weeks ago was ugly. This past week, quiet double-digit PPR performance, but the targets are there, right around 70% of the snaps still weekly. And you got to remember, this has been. I mean, I know Zach and I have feelings about Kyler Murray that a lot of other people don't share, but Kyler Murray is still better than Colt McCoy. I think Zach would agree with me. So I like AJ Green going forward, and. Yeah, I would consider adding him if you have the flexibility to do that here, even though they're on a bye this week.
No comment about Colt McCoy.
I'd take Colt McCoy. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I think he
Texas relevant.
True, that too.
The Cardinals have swept the NFC West in their buildings now. They beat all 3 of them on their home field, and 2 of them were with Colt McCoy.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you saying Kyler Murray's better than him? You just shot down your own statement.
Well,
get owned.
Sad.
2 teams on bye this week are the Cardinals and the Chiefs. I think it's worth looking to see if anybody drops either team's players. To your point, AJ Green will probably go down in ownership this week. I picked up Clyde Edwards-Helaire in a league last week when he was still technically on IR, so that was a nice pickup. He could be out there for some people. I could see Chase Edmonds possibly being out there for some people who got desperate and needed to drop him. Yeah. I don't know how many more players I would assume are out there. Like, I don't think I need to go and get Mecole Hardman or anybody like that. Rondale Moore, I don't need him. Maybe Zach Ertz, I guess, could get dropped if you're super desperate at tight end and want to pick him up. But I always like to look at those bye week teams just to see what people do.
The fact
Anybody
you're
else?
able to get CEH was incredible. Yeah, I don't know why people didn't think he'd be good. Like, they finally started running the ball again.
I'm the number one team in that league too. So I picked him up and he's my 4th best running back. Let's go. To the top. Bing. That's in the Osmo League, Henry. We're doing big things here. Big brain moves.
Can we please clip the little pew?
Sure. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Jamal Agnew, done for the season. Breaks my heart. I've been riding him in one of my dynasty leagues pretty hard. So unfortunately, not that I have much hope in that one, but he's out. Cordell Patterson in that same game should be back this week, I would assume. And again, against the Jaguars, so I really like him. Is Mike Davis fully droppable to you guys?
Yes.
I think I agree. Yeah. People, it's tough for some people to, because I don't know, what was he drafted in probably the 3rd round in most leagues? So, like, people, if you invested a bunch, I understand it's tough to drop them. I just don't see any upside with him.
Loyalty gets you nowhere, like, at all.
Who are we talking about now? Sorry.
Mike Davis.
Oh. Goodbye.
Would you drop Mike Davis for Tevin Coleman?
Yes.
Why'd you have
as long as Michael Carter is out, yes. I would.
Out of all the players
against the Texans,
how much do you think a plane ticket to Houston is? Because it says here tickets as low as $10 to the Jets Houston game.
Hey, wait. Sunday?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that like it would be any other game. Let's see. I can search it up for you. Houston, Texas Airport.
That's what a game to go to. You get to see...
when do you want to fly down? 26th to the 27th.
I don't want to be there for too long. Let's go same day.
Wow. Okay,
Sunday.
That's ballsy.
That's Saturday. Let's go 28th.
Yeah. Sunday. You'll get down there Saturday, leave Sunday after the game. Because you don't want to stay there. Disgusting. Holy hell. Well,
it's Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah. You'd have to fly Spirit on the way there. Ooh. And the way... Oh, wait, this is better. 2 nonstop flights from United. Cheapest, $767. Nope. Never mind. Spirit Airline on the way there and a 22-hour flight on the way back. Like travel time. $567. So you'd fly from Milwaukee, layover in Las Vegas, and then 3-hour layover in Las Vegas. Get to Houston at 1:12 in the morning. And then, you'd have to leave. Oh my God. So you'd have to leave Houston at 10 in the morning. You go to Cancun, be there for 3 hours.
This is the best trip of all time. What are we doing?
So you'd go to Cancun, get there at 2, have a 3-hour layover, go from Cancun to Orlando, have a 12-hour layover in Orlando.
What are we doing? This is insane.
Disney and a Magic game? Let's go.
Fly back to Milwaukee 9 and get back at 9:34 on a Monday.
That sounds
right into work.
You're right. Ready to go.
Let's do it.
But you
Vegas,
missed the game.
Cancun, and Orlando. Where are we going here? We're
circling
the beaches.
The saddest thing is, who's on the way back? Oh my God, you have to go. That makes sense. So it's Spirit from Houston to Cancun, Frontier 30 from Cancun to Orlando, and then Orlando to Milwaukee. So that actually makes sense. Spirit for the win. We are sponsored by Spirit Airlines, by the way. No, we're not. But I would like to be.
And in the middle, you get to see a Jets-Texans game.
Not really, because you'd have to leave Houston at 10 in the morning on Sunday. So
shit. Oh, well, it was a fun trip. We can watch it on the plane.
Yeah, watch it on the plane.
Stupid.
I got way too happy about Cancun.
Well, it just seems so random. Like, where the fuck are we going?
You'd have to take a passport to travel within your own country.
In a trip that I'm going to the Texans game, I don't make it to the Texans game, but that's fine. That's okay.
But it is
Why not?
$200 cheaper, so win-win.
What a deal. What a steal. That's worth it.
Shout out Kiwi.com for getting that beautiful gem of a flight together.
Well, anything else you guys want to talk about? Is Nikola Jokic playing?
I think we got to end there. I think that's a good
Nikola Jokic ruled out. Look at us go. Okay, so this was...
Guys, Bones Highland's going to be good. You heard it here.
He's fine.
He's going to be good someday. Very good.
Could you be less demeaning, Zach?
Very, very, very good.
Where'd he go to VCU? Was he a
VCU,
West Virginia
yeah.
guy? VCU.